Okay, put this to the side. Make sure you're taking notes. You'll have plenty of time to work on this in a second. Okay, we are now on page 41 now. Okay, so page 41, we're starting with multiplication. We did adding, we did subtracting, now we're going to look at multiplication. We've done this before, so once again, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this. You've seen this stuff before when we first, at the beginning of the class, but it's a good review because we're doing factoring next unit, so it's a good review to kind of get you for ready for factoring. So we are taking the product. Product means what? We are multiplying a monomial and a polynomial. Monomial means what? One term. So I am taking one term and I am multiplying it by a polynomial, which could be 2 terms, 3 terms, 4 terms, whatever. So I'm taking a monomial and I'm multiplying it through. So basically what I'm doing is I am factoring. So let's say I have 2x, that is my not factoring, distributing, what you're basically doing. So we're going to take my monomial, 2x, and we are multiplying it to a polynomial. This happens to be a trinomial, but you could have 3 things in parentheses, 2 things, 4 things, whatever. You do the same thing. Basically, you are distributing. However, if I think about distributing the 2x, apply variables together,
I have to add the exponent. So we are kind of combining distributing with variables. So be careful on that. So I'm taking 2x times negative 5x squared. So what is 2x times negative 5x squared? Negative 10, multiply like we did on the warm-up, and then I multiply my exponents. You're multiplying your variables, so add your exponents. 1 plus 2 is 3. So negative 10 x to the third. So we are distributing and then adding the exponents if I multiply variables together. 2x times 2x, 4x squared. And then 2x times negative 3, negative 6x. Okay. Now, double check, you can't combine x to the third, x squared, x, so you can't put any together. So that's my answer. Any questions on that? Okay, guys, stay with me. We're not taking many notes. That is a monomial times a polynomial. Okay? One term times anything in parentheses you distribute. Okay? Now, the next page, we are looking at page 42. Now, as you read the description, this is just the product of polynomials. So now, instead of taking a monomial and distributing it through, I may be multiplying a binomial by a binomial, trinomial by a trinomial. For this class, we're only going to be worried about binomials times binomials. So let's look at an example. I should have put trinomials on there, but I forgot. Not the end of the world. So let's say I have x minus 2 times, let's say I have times 2x plus 4. This is a binomial times a binomial. What strategy do we have for binomial times a binomial? Fancy distributing. We have a word for that. Starts with an F. No. Foil. So you can think, it's a binomial times a binomial. So this is basically foiling. Foiling is just fancy distributing. So you're going to take every term in your first parentheses and distribute it to every term in the second. So I'm going to start with x, and I'm going to distribute it to the 2x and the 4. Basically, your foiling is just distributing. So x times 2x, 2x squared. X times 4, 4x. So we are taking my first term and distributing it to each term in the second parenthesis. Now you take the second term, so negative 2, you have to take the negative with it, and distribute the negative 2. Negative 2 times 2x, negative 4x. Negative 2 times 4, negative 8. Now when you FOIL, you need to check. Usually you will have things that you need to put together. In this case, if I look, I have a 4x minus a 4x, which is what? 0, they cancel. 4 minus 4 cancels. So I'm left with 2x squared minus 8. So once again, you've seen this before, just kind of a quick review. I wanted to at least do a little bit of polynomial review before we factor next unit. Any questions on that one? Okay, one more example we're going to look at. Not a ton of notes today. One more example. What if I have something like this? What if I have multiple variables in it? So what if I have something like 5x plus 2 times negative 3x minus 3? Okay? Nope, I want to put y's in there. 5x plus 2y times a negative 3x minus 3y. What if I have multiple variables, x's and y's? You do it the same way. It's still binomial times a binomial, so you still take each term in the first and distribute it to the second, which is basically foiling. So if you're good with foiling, just remember foiling. Let's distribute the 5x. 5x times the negative 3x, that's your first term. So what is 5x times negative 3x? We're multiplying. Negative 15, x squared. I multiply, so I add the exponents. Negative 15x squared. Now we're going to take the 5x and distribute to the negative 3y, which is the outside part in foiling. What is 5x times a negative 3y? Negative 15xy. Put it in alphabetical order. X comes before y. So 5 times negative 3, negative 15. X times y, I can't combine them because they're not the same base, so I just put xy. Now let's distribute the 2y, which is your inside 2. 2y times negative 3x. Negative 6xy. And then your 2y, let's distribute to the negative 3y, which is your last part of FOIL. 2y times negative 3y. Negative 6y squared. Same idea, just a little more complicated keeping track of the variables. Any questions? Okay, usually when you have a binomial times a binomial, you can combine some things. What things can I put together here? Yep, you went through it, Miss Ray. You finished, thank you. Negative 15xy minus 6xy, they have the same variable xy. Negative 6 minus 15, negative 21xy minus 6y squared. And that is your answer. Okay, any questions on that? We feel good with this stuff? Yes. You've seen it before, it's basically all review. Tomorrow we're going to get to a little bit of new stuff. You've seen it before in Algebra 2, but you haven't seen it as much as this stuff. Okay?